Okay, yeah, good morning. Can you hear me? Yeah. Yes, hello everyone and thanks for coming. So, this is my outline, and I guess that when you all see this image, some of you might think in one word, and this is modernity. Modernity is at the core of the MAP Modern project, which aims to analyze the impact of Spanish and Latin American cultural mediators, and this means publishers, translators, journals, or institutions in the international networks of the first half of the 20th century. So, in this respect, the Mapping Modernity project aims to reflect on how can we use big data approaches and digital mapping to understand and to benefit cultural history in an innovative way and from a transnational perspective. To do so, we work in two different fields. First, we try to build a virtual research environment on Hispanic agents and agencies. This means, as I said before, publishers, translators, journals, or institutions, and to provide a data source for quantitative and qualitative analysis. And secondly, we work on 4 main thematic sub-projects on key cultural transformation processes. Who we are? We are a team, an interdisciplinary team, 13 people from Barcelona, mainly from this university, but also from Argentina, Mexico, Bulgaria, France, and Belgium, who combine computational methods, literary and cultural history, women and media studies, and the social sciences. And now, those who are working in other fields will be asking, and why is this project important? So let me give you just 2 main reasons, one more general and the other one more specific. The first one, I think that in the last years, the humanities and the social sciences are experiencing a paradigm shift, and this is scale. Now we have promising ways and very innovative ways of knowing more about how culture, how print culture has been changing, not only through space, but also through time. This means that now we are not happy anymore with the national focus, a sole national focus, and a digital cultural history may challenge historical methodology, old historical methodology, and may reflect on future research based on collaboration, open source, and public scholarship. Secondly, and more specifically, the MAP Modern project may initiate a shift in our thinking on the relevant role of Hispanic mediators in international modernism in the first 20th century, in the first half of the 20th century, and may also help to reconstruct their complex relations and overlapping roles. So in that respect, could we build the LinkedIn of the past? My answer would be, yes, we can do it. So how do we work? As I said before, to reach one of our main goals, this means a virtual research environment, we are using NodeGoat. You can see it now in the slide, and this is a web-based data management created by a Dutch company called Lab 1100. Then we are using, as you saw before, digital mapping, and we also work with social network analysis. We are also digitizing text, and we are exploring other tools, other ways of doing this kind of research, such as simulation, crowdsourcing, or crowd creation. And now let me finish with some possibilities for the future in this kind of projects. I think that in this kind of projects, like Mapping Modernity, we still have to solve some technical and conceptual problems, and I'm particularly thinking in archives, in different ways of presenting data, but also in missing data, incomplete or non-existent sources. How do we deal with sources that are not preserved or that are incomplete? So this is something that we still have to think how to do it. Other problems that I'm particularly thinking is the material selection. The material selection is crucial, but also subjective, so this may change our final resource. So we are always working between representation versus exhaustivity. And finally, you also have to take into account that network analysis or digital mapping are only intermediate steps in this analysis. So this network analysis or the digital mapping, they don't explain on their own why these agents are there and how they get there. So this is something that we still have to do. Sharing data, another possibility for the future. I already mentioned it, and this project is very committed with open source, Art Data, or GitHub. As I said before, we are also exploring other ways of doing research, such as crowdsourcing, crowd creation, citizen science, or public scholarship. And finally, I highly believe that cross-border research and interdisciplinary projects are fundamental for pushing forward this sort of research. I'm particularly interested in collaboration with computer and social scientists, so if you are in this room and you're interested in this project, please write to me. Two brief conclusions. The first one, technology and big data approaches transform literary and cultural studies in less dominant spaces, such as the Spanish-speaking world, where digital tools and digital humanities are still scarce. And in relation to this, I think that the Map Modern project may push the discussion on how is this possible in less affluent settings. I think that now, today, 2017, it's time to show that digital humanities projects are culturally and geographically diverse. So today, when you go home and you think in the Map Modern project, I hope you will do it. I will be very happy if you can remember these keywords. The first one, modernity. I start with that. The second one, Spain and Latin America, cultural mediators, interwar period, and digital humanities and big data approaches. And now, just for finishing, let me show you one of these maps so you can get an idea of what we are doing. This is our virtual research environment. ¿Cómo es esto? Yes, so this is the virtual research environment based on Notego that I was mentioning before. And now, just let me show you one of these maps so that you can get an idea of what I was talking. Yeah, so this is one of the maps we are doing, and in this case you can see a journal, La Revista, which was published between 1915 and 1936, and in the map we gather the origin of all the authors that were translated in this journal, so you can see the diversity of people that were translated in this journal and how was very cosmopolitan, which is very remarkable for its time. So in the colors are the languages of these translations. And that's all. Thank you very much. Moltes gràcies per la vostra atenció.
So thank you, Diana. Any question out there? No? Good.
Thank you for your talk, Diana. It was very interesting. I think your project, as you know, it's a wonderful project, and I thought I didn't see the map that the example you showed us. I think it's a beautiful example. Can you tell us more about the corpus you're working with? Because you talked about mediators, but I'm wondering if you are working mainly with journals, or with what kind of archives are you working with?
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for your question. So I work with journals, I work with people and institutions such as the PEN International or the International Institute of Intellectual Cooperation. This means the former UNESCO. So I'm trying to trace all the relations, all the connections between all these people in these different agencies, let's say, no? So, yeah.
Okay, any other question? No? Just a short one, and I expect a short answer, because if I understand well, technology opens a chance to confirm or deny some long time existing assumptions from some historical period. So do you expect many confrontation between classical approaches and these new ones, or it's just something that it's going to help, but not completely change everything?
No. Indeed, I think that technology and big data approaches is going to change. It's already changing the way we are doing research, but I think that it can change, modify, or nuance many understandings or many interpretations of things we already discovered. And it helps us with new questions, but also with new answers. It can give new answers to questions were already answered before. So in this respect, I think that it's something very relevant.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.